What's up, everybody? I'm Finn McKenty. This is my second channel, and this is your home for my Twitch highlights and my podcast. So if you like this and you want to see more of that and you want to join the live streams, there's a link to that in the description of this video. And with that out of the way, let's get into it. This is the new song by Jason Richardson called Upside Down, featuring Tim Henson from Polyphia. I have listened to this, and for anybody who's not familiar, Jason Richardson is one of the best guitarists in modern metal today. I mean, this guy is fucking ridiculous. He got to start being in Born of Osiris back in, I don't know, 2010 or something like that. He was like 17 or 18, something like that. Way back in the day. Then he was in Chelsea Grin until I think maybe 2015 or 16 or something like that. And then he quit and went solo. Let's just listen to that really quick. I mean, this is 7 years ago. He does the wheedly wheedly. Do some wheedling. There we go. And this is 7 years ago. He's a lot better now than he was then. He is the real deal, I assure you. We've had him on Nail the Mix before. My friend and business partner Al recorded Chelsea Grin when he was in the band, which is how we know Jason. He is the real fucking deal. And what's really impressive to me is not just that he's a great player, it's also really impressive to me that he has done such a good job of marketing himself and building a following, playing this like very, you know, I mean, let's be honest, this is nerdy shit. This is like shred guitar music by guitarists for guitarists. And you saw that video we just watched had almost 1 million views. This has 400,000 views in 5 days. It just really proves that there is an audience for this stuff. So I've been impressed to see him build his following as a guitarist, and he's not like a huge personality. He doesn't do like big crazy stunts. He doesn't talk shit. You know, he's a pretty low-key guy, but he's been able to build up a very impressive following for himself playing this kind of music. I'll talk about that in a little bit, but first, let's listen to this new song, Upside Down, featuring Tim Henson from Polyphia and Luke Holland from The Word Alive, who is also a fucking ridiculous drummer, and obviously Tim Henson from Polyphia is absurd too. So I would consider these three really the leaders of this generation of, you know, I guess you could call it progressive music, whatever, shred music. These three are the fucking top of the food chain. So let's listen to this new song by them and check it out. Yep, Tim Henson is short though, so he didn't get all the good looks. He's like 5'4". We get right into the shredding. Oh yeah, Luke is in I See Stars. Luke is also extremely good looking. I'm very jealous of how good looking Luke is. I like the synths in the background here too. What's really impressive to me about this stuff is that it's actually musical. Yeah, it's not pop, right? It's not as accessible as, you know, Ariana Grande or something like that. But as far as this kind of stuff goes, it's quite musical. It's not just nonstop shredding. They have dynamics. They keep the songs interesting. That stuff like the synths. There's also a really cool part at the end. PC Master Race Metal, that's right. And all this shit Luke is playing. I was talking before about how a lot of modern metal has like very fake edited drums. I've heard Luke Holland's raw drums. They're the real deal. You do not need to edit or sample replace or touch any of the tracks that these guys give you. And I know because I've heard their raws. All of them are as real as it gets, I assure you. Everyone else is busy djenting in a colored room, but they've already moved on. They're shredding in an LED room. Listen how tight that is. That is ridiculous. But like, listen to that part there. Not every moment of this song has to be pure over-the-top 30-second note shred, right? They have some of these like slower parts that add a little bit more dynamics. That's the reason why when they do shred, that's why it hits so hard, because they give it time to breathe and build up to it. Exactly, they give your ears a break. And they know who their audience is. The arcade theme, the video game stuff. They know that their audience is the PC Master Race. Hell yeah, bro. The fist bump. I'm so jealous of how cool Luke looks playing drums, twirling his sticks. It makes it look so easy with his cool haircut. I'm jealous. Luke, I just want to hang out with you for just like an hour. Just like hang out and just want to feel how cool you are. Now there's this cool classical guitar part. Again, dynamics. Luke chills out here. They don't have to play crazy over the top stuff all the time. Then when they do here in a minute, it hits harder. Ooh, listen to that. And then here comes Tim. Tim's Asian, so you know he's gonna beat everyone's ass at Street Fighter. He's like, you fucking white boys don't stand a chance. So when you go to the Street Fighter competition, the Filipino kid shows up. He's Taiwanese, not Filipino. But you go to the Street Fighter competition in San Jose, the Filipino kid shows up, and you're like, all right, time to go home. I'm about to get my ass beat. This little interlude, again, gives you some room to breathe. And then Tim steps up. I think Tim's playing is really interesting because he does a lot of those harmonics and tapping kind of stuff, a lot of clean tones that it almost has a little bit of that math rock, Midwest emo kind of flavor to it. You know, they're labeled as metal, Polyphia is, but it's really not metal. You know what I mean? It is metal, but it's not. The hybrid picking king, that's right. I love how smacky Luke's snares always are. Ooh, that's a nice little fill. Listen to that. Simple, but listen to that fill. Deadly. This part is super fucking cool. This is one of the coolest parts I have heard in this whole genre. I love this. This makes the whole song to me. This part is so cool. Kind of reminds me of Muse. Right here. It's such a cool part. It's very musical, you know? They're shredding, of course, but I feel like you can enjoy this even if you're not a guitarist. This part, at least, right? Very hard to do. This sounds like winning at Nintendo. I think that's the idea. Hell yeah, bro. Let's kiss. I thought Jason was about to go in for the kiss. See, you could see he was thinking about it right here. He's like, is that what Luke's asking me? Oh, wait, no. Dude, no, I wasn't going to kiss you unless you were going to kiss me. If you were, that's cool. I mean, if you're into that, if you're not, that's cool too. I don't know. Let's just play some more Street Fighter. Forget I said anything, bro. Fist bump. I don't think there's any bass or rhythm guitar in this. If you notice, in most Polyphia songs, there's no rhythm guitar. Very cool. First of all, I think this is one of the best songs in this genre that's ever been done, of progressive shred music, whatever you want to call it. And I've been listening to that stuff for a long time. I started playing guitar in 1989, which was the very tail end of the original shred era of Malmsteen and George Lynch and all that stuff. You know, that stuff was cool for what it is, but it was not very musical. It wasn't good music. You know what I mean? It was technically impressive, and you know, I can appreciate that they were doing something experimental, but it wasn't great music. And what I appreciate about this is that bands like Polyphia and now Jason have figured out how to make this stuff pretty musical and listenable, even if you're not necessarily a guitarist. The other thing that I find very impressive about this video in particular is that these guys don't come off as nerds. Now, their fans are definitely nerds, don't get me wrong. This is very nerdy stuff, but they kind of seem like bros, you know? They've managed to crack the code of how do you play instrumental shred music without seeming like a dorky virgin. Not easy to do, but they pulled it off. And that is perhaps the most impressive part of this whole thing to me, is that they've been able to do this kind of music while still kind of seeming like cool guys that aren't virgins who have never touched a tit in their whole life. The majority of their fans fantasize about fucking a headless Ormsby guitar, not another human. And I don't get that vibe from these guys. So I think this is really cool. This is, in my opinion, maybe like a new high watermark for this genre. Polyphia is really fucking good too, but I really like Luke's playing. I think he adds a lot to this. Either way, this is some of the best shit in the genre. It's not a surprise to me that this has 400,000 views. And I think all three of these guys have a really bright future ahead of them. I'm excited to see where they take this kind of music, and hats off to them for their success.